So I was asked to talk a little bit about something related to the Sheikh Shamana course that we just finished. Parallel to this course, there was something going on with me that was happening at the same time, so I wanted to kind of talk about it and share my experience. And this is restorative justice. So restorative justice is something that Venerable Chodron and I are very passionate about. And so she was kind enough to link me up with some of her acquaintances, and I've been learning a lot recently, and it really blows my mind. Um, so I had to ask the question, what is the connection between restorative justice and the Sheikh Shamana course that we just finished, this 3-week course? And I found there were some connections. During this course, we talked a lot about harmony and our precepts and what happens when we break these precepts. So it's not that you break a precept and then the Buddha or the abbess or someone else comes and yells at you and points their finger and tells you you're bad and wrong and you have to leave the monastery and you can't come back. It's not like that at all. When we've caused some harm in our monastic community, we see this as an opportunity to check in, connect with that person, not excluding them, but including them in a discussion about how we can heal this harm that's been caused, how we can move forward in a really positive way. So on an individual level, when I know for myself, when I have caused some harm, I feel really grateful to have this opportunity to apologize, to atone for my transgressions, and to fix the harm, and to move forward and make a strong determination to cause more benefit to people in my community. So, what is restorative justice? It is an approach to justice where one of the responses to a crime is to organize a meeting between the victim and the offender, sometimes with representatives of the wider community. The goal is for them to share their experience of what happened, to discuss who was harmed by the crime and how, and to create a consensus for what the offender can do to repair the harm. Restorative practices are currently being applied to address conflict in families, schools, communities, workplaces, and the justice system. So this really blows my mind. When I compare it to the justice system that we have now, it's worlds apart, where we just continue to cause more and more harm by punishing people and pointing our finger and labeling them as bad and ostracizing them from society. So there's no healing there. There's no benefit. And we can see over and over again, recidivism rates are so high. I think a documentary I saw said it was like 75%, it might be even higher. But it's just not working at all. And restorative justice does work. It's been used in schools and communities and different places. And we can see how it heals, and it has a really powerful effect on people. So I first heard about restorative justice when I was living in Berkeley at the Enigma Center, and I just happened to pick up a book. It was by the American Friends Service Committee. So I was really tickled when Venerable Chuni mentioned this many, many months ago. She still had, I think, a postcard, right? Yeah, a brochure. And this reminded me about this group, which is so amazing. These awesome, they're Quakers, which is a kind of Christian group that lives a very simple life. So when I went to their website, I was really stunned by some of the things that they do. In 1947, AFSC, with the British Friends Service Council, received the Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of all Quakers for their humanitarian work with millions between World Wars I and II. AFSC publicly opposed the U.S. internment of Japanese Americans and established 2 programs to eventually secure the release of more than 4,000 individuals. AFSC was a principal endorser of the 1968 Poor People's Campaign, led by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, to address and demand economic justice around the country. So again, I'm just blown away with this new paradigm for what justice could look like. It's not that we don't have another plan for what justice could look like. We do have ideas and programs that have been used. And so there's no reason for us to continue with the system we have now that's not working at all when we have a proven method for an alternative that's really beneficial for society. So lately, I've been connecting with the Multi Faith Coalition for Restorative Justice, and I'm new to the group, but what they do is they are bringing in different perspectives, and they had a Christian and a Jewish perspective, so they wanted to get a broader range. So I'll be helping out with the Buddhist perspective, and what they do is they identify legislation and legislators who are in support of restorative justice, and they try to spread the word and get as much support and backing for these people and these ideas as they can. So I feel proud to be working with this group. Tonight, 8 o'clock our time, 7 o'clock Pacific time, they have an event called Healing Both Sides of Harm, which is going to be a discussion, and there'll be different people talking about restorative justice. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then on February 15th, they have Lobby Day. It sounds like they're going to get a lot of support and get people to talk to their legislators and tell them how restorative justice is really necessary in our society. So vital. I feel really proud to be at the Abbey right now, where we are connecting with the incarcerated and the formerly incarcerated and making malas for them and sending them books and CDs and letters back and forth offering support. We do a retreat from afar. So even though we have the retreat here and a lot of people can't attend, but people can attend from afar and they can see what we're doing and practice meditation techniques and learn a lot of cool things. So I'm really excited about that. Lastly, Venerable Chodron connected me with a guy named Ron, who has been working with restorative justice. And what he was doing was the impact on crime on victims class. So this is a 12-part class for inmates. And in each part, they go over a different crime and how it affects other people, especially different kinds of victims. But he said the most pertinent part, the life-changing part of this class was the very last section where they had a victim of crime come in and share their story, the impact that crime had on them personally. So it's not this nebulous idea that I did something wrong and harmed this group, but there's this one-on-one connection with this person, and you can see very viscerally how your actions have a very strong effect on the local and a wider community. So he said for him, this was the most important moment in his life, to meet this person and to be able to say, I'm sorry. For a lot of people, they won't be able to meet the victims that they've harmed, but if you can meet with someone else and just be able to express how you feel, how deeply sorry you are for what you did, and to make a strong resolution to be more beneficial in the future, this is so powerful. And so I'm really proud that there's programs and organizations that are involved in this. So whether we're doing it on an individual level, on a community level with each other in our monastic life, or in a broader level, state, national, international, these ideas of healing, of atonement, forgiveness, communication, these are human ideas, and we can all embrace them and share them with each other and move towards a more beneficial community.